How firm a foundation, ye saints of the Lord, is laid for your faith in his excellent word.
Hello and welcome to Wow in the Word, where we look at a bunch of different wows which God put in his word for us to find. I am Pastor Mark Femmel, pastor over here at ZionMH.org. You can find me and all sorts of sermons and Bible studies on there and all sorts of cool events that Zion is doing. You can also find me over here at WowInTheWord, where you can find me and all of your favorite church people putting all sorts of Word of God out there for you to hear, as well as share your prayer requests with the whole Christian church, so people are literally praying for you 24/7. As I was walking through the halls of the school that my daughters go to at St. Paul's Lutheran Church in DePere, Missouri, just outside of St. Louis, I noticed a whole bunch of great artwork. These kids pour their hearts and their souls and even their faiths into their work. So here's a bunch of different art pieces. I'm going to kind of scroll them through as you're going to kind of see them ghosted over here. But I want you to take a peek at some of these and just hear some great words that are rolling through my mind. So these words are from Psalm 1, the first Psalm. Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the wicked, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of scoffers. It's extremely easy to do that, isn't it? To slide into something very tempting. It is so hard for me to be tempted to eat spinach. It is so much easier for me to be tempted to eat cookie dough, or ice cream, or chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream. But blessed is the person who, instead, has his delight in the Torah, or the instruction, the law of Yahweh. On his law he meditates day and night. This is just such a tranquil, such a peaceful picture where you read God's word, you're listening to God's word, and it just has its way with you. To help us kind of visualize how great this is, the person writing the psalm continues and he says, "He is like a tree planted by streams of water that yields its fruit in its season, and its leaf does not wither. In all that he does, he prospers." As you look at these images are from a project that they did with water lilies, where they were drawing water lilies in a bridge. And it's just so tranquil. It's just like this man or this woman, obviously, either one, it doesn't matter the gender, but just meditating on God's law, on his instruction, on his word, on his gospel. Just meditating on his words. It's just like a lot like these pictures. Like you're kind of walking slowly over one of these bridges, just sort of strolling along with the water lilies. They're at peace, the bridge is at peace, the stream's at peace, you're at peace. When you look at this text, the first psalm, especially verse 3, you get this idea where you're like a tree planted by streams of living water. Think of these lilies that you're seeing right here in these images. And these lilies, if you took them out of the water, they dry up and die. Same thing for a tree. If you took a tree away from the water, it is going to shrivel up, it's going to die, it's not going to have what it needs. But also, if you notice, it's not like a tree planted by a chaotic lake, right? Or a river just slightly upstream from the ocean. So it's fresh water, but very big, very dangerous. It's like streams. It's peaceful, it's calm, you have everything you need, your roots run deep. A tree, just like these water lilies, they need light, and they're going to get that living on earth, and they need water just to have all those nutrients. And with that water comes all sorts of the life in the water. They have nutrients that the trees need. It literally fertilizes it. With that light, with that water, you have everything you need. God comes to us and says, life with him is as peaceful as these lily pads, as these water lilies under this bridge on this stream. Life is that peaceful when we walk with him. He shows us the opposite too. Verse 4 says, "The wicked are not so. They're like chaff that the wind drives away." When I read this text, I can't help but think of baptism, right? In baptism, God gives us his holy water. Through that water, we get his name. And he gives us roots, just like trees, just like the lilies that you're seeing. Like roots in that water that gives us life, that gives us his life, that gives his life and puts it inside of us. It's just this vibrant life, so beautiful that even 7th graders draw pictures of that. But it's not so with those who cut themselves off from the water of life, from God, the life giver. They're like a barren, dry desert. And if you've ever seen pictures of a desert, or been in the desert, or just been in South Texas, you know how dry it is. And it withers you. It withers you. So the psalm continues, "Therefore the wicked will not stand in judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous." You kind of see this difficult day, which is the day of judgment, just like a tree forced to live outside of water or away from water. nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous, right? Where the people will live together here as the people of God in church, but also in the new world when we're brought together to just be there forever. For Yahweh knows the way of the righteous, but the way of the wicked will perish. God calls you to be with him, to be where he is, where baptism is being done, where the word of God is being handed out, where the Lord's Supper is being shared, where the people of God come together, they call to God, they worship him, they pray to him. God calls you to be a part of that community. Now, the best place is to be there constantly, right? Constantly connected to God, at least once a day with devotions, prayers, at least once a week to be in his house, but to be with him. When we take breaks, we're like a tree who's by the stream and then goes to the desert for a little while. It's not a safe place. So God calls you and me. And I mean that, you and me. He says, be with me by these streams of water, his word, his life, where he is. I hope you enjoyed these pictures that the 7th grade over St. Paul's de Pere shared with us. Big thank you to Lynn McCain, who just teaches our kids just great things and for allowing our kids to be inspired to do some great artwork. If you didn't get to see one of your pictures, or if you didn't get to see all the pictures clearly because my ugly face is in the way, you can check those out right here. I'm just going to kind of run them through and then entrust you into the hands of the one who plants you in the waters of his grace. The Lord be with you.